So welcome to the next lecture. Today we're going to talk about building and maintaining trust, one of the fundamental aspects for effective and powerful leadership. We're going to go through today to looking at how trust can shape working relationships, what kind of behaviors impact trust, and what are some of the attitudes and skills that you can help to build trust in the short and long term. So let's start with this. What is trust? What does the word trust bring to your mind? What does it remind you of? To start this discussion, we're going to use this very simple definition. It says it's a firm belief in the reliability or ability of someone or something. That is, how reliable is something when you need it? How reliable is someone's ability to do something when needed, right? Now, I ask you this question. What does trust look or feel like? Or how do you know someone is trustworthy? So take some time in your groups to discuss what trust can feel like or look like, and then come back in about 5 to 10 minutes. So, I'm sure you came along with several different ways in which we identify or relate to how trust is experienced by us. To that, I'd like to share with you what Oxfam has identified as trust-related behaviors. There's 10 of them here. See if what you came up with matches with some of them or not. And in the meantime, take some time to look at what are the actions that you can take to address these different aspects in the short or long term for a team. That is, how can you improve trust considering these aspects in your team? Take about 5 to 10 minutes and then come back. So, you might have seen that there was several different aspects of how you could address them, and I wanted to add to that what Simon Sinek shares with us here in this video. He discusses the origins of trust, where he says trust comes from, and why it matters today in our organizations and in our lives. And so with that, when you watch this video, please take into consideration these two questions. Where does Simon believe that trust originates, and how does he suggest that we can actively build trust with our colleagues? Watch the video, and when you're done, come back and we'll continue. I hope you liked Simon's video. I always find it quite inspirational, and it reminds me why it's so important for us to build trust in the teams that we work with. Based on that, it's time to go and trust yourselves back in the water. What we would like you to do now is reflect about how trust, or the lack of it, has impacted your work in teams. And we're going to do this in a self-pair-share way. So, first, for 5 minutes, you will write positive and negative impacts of your relationship where you've had good trust or bad trust and how that impacted the work you're doing. Then you're going to compare with your pair, whoever's next to you, and then you'll share in a group. So take your time, follow the instructions, and I'll see you back here when you're done. In addition to what you may have discussed about positive and negative impacts of trust, here is what Oxfam has found in their list that is key for trust, how trust really impacts relationships in their projects, in programs. Take some time to look at this and compare it with what you've had. Now, we've said the importance of trust, where it comes from, what are the impacts of it on teams. So what are some tips for building it, according to Peterson and Kaplan? Here I'm going to give you 4 of what they say. First, like diet or exercise, it's something that you need to have intention and consistency. You can't expect that a single action will build a lasting relationship in trust. It takes work, it takes time, and it takes consistency. It's a two-way street. If you want people to trust you, you better start trusting them as well, right? Empower them by giving them your trust and showing them that they're also trustworthy of what you expect of them so that they can trust you in return. In order to do that, though, you need to be very clear about what we name here as accountability, roles and responsibilities. What exactly did you say you were going to do, and did you get it done? And in the process, have you discussed with people how you're going through it? So be clear and make sure that you keep people informed of your progress, even if it's not what is expected. This will help you build stronger trust. And finally, and this will be some of what we dedicate our later lectures to, embrace conflict. Running from conflict does not increase trust. The lack of conflict is not what you find in a trustworthy environment. In a trustworthy environment, people engage in conflict openly, attentively, and looking for win-win scenarios, because that builds rapport, that builds trust. Okay? So, here are your key takeaway points. Make sure you take some time to look at them afterwards. Thanks again for coming to this lecture, and I look forward to discussing more things with you in the future.